Hi guys, today's listener submitted question is how important is socializing your pet? Great question. Thank you for asking this. And important, guys. So, very important. Kind of the same as people. If they never get exposed, they don't develop the soft skills and how to communicate. How do you deal with a stressful situation? There have been a lot of studies on the brain through MRIs on the human side where people over the last 20 years, we'll blame it on smartphones and video games. Not to say those are bad, but everything in moderation, just in general. But people that only work on a screen and never have to deal with their friends and the fight that they had or how to coordinate, it's a lot harder to date. It's a lot harder to work out, fights before they escalate. And there's been some papers where that actually has dramatically increased the mental health issues. So I do think socialization is really, really important, even at the veterinary level and with your pets. Something I strongly encourage new pet owners is when they get their pets, hold them tight, hold them snug, poke those ears, open the mouth, mess with every part of them. Why? Because if you don't, and you come in for a nail trim and they're 7 years old and nobody's ever touched their nails and we touch it, they're screaming bloody murder and like the world is ending and they're trying to die from a simple nail trim. Well, that's where the socialization comes into play. Mess with them, touch them. It's up to you guys. You guys are the ones at home with them. Kids are usually really good at it, but if not, that's okay. Owners can do it. Flip them over on their back. Don't let them jump up. Rub their belly. Let them get comfortable in different positions. Because in an emergency, or even general wellness, or when you're getting fixed, we have to hold them in a certain way to place a catheter, to give medicine, to do a surgery. Or maybe there was a hit by car, but you didn't break bones, but you got some, road rash or different things, or a dog fight or a cat fight. There's a lot of things we can do topically, but you've got to be able to touch your patient and they got to be able to not freak out if you're messing with it. Say ear infections, super common, but if you've never touched their ears and all of a sudden they hurt the first time from an infection and then you try and do it, they're going to associate that with pain. They're not going to want you to touch them. That makes it a little bit harder for the owner to do what the veterinarian may ask you to do at home twice a day for 14 days, and it just gets really challenging. So it'll make your life easier, it'll make your pet's life easier, and your vets and vet staff will greatly appreciate patients that are easier to handle. So second part of that would be wait till they're fully vaccinated before you start socializing them, because here in my world, in El Paso and kind of throughout Texas and a lot of different areas, we see a lot of parvo, a lot of distemper. And we want to make sure you're protected against that and they're not dog aggressive or kid aggressive. That's another really big one, that if they're never socialized, there are some dogs that are great family dogs. We'll say mom and dad dogs, but they didn't have kids, and then their grandkids or nieces, nephews, somebody else comes over, they have kids, and those dogs try and kill them. Literally, I've had to deal with that. And that's sad because that affects not just you, but your entire family unit. And can people come over to the house? Can babysitters come? There's some terrible stories where dogs that were never socialized get out. They're large dogs. They're across the street from a park. Kids are playing. Kids go to the hospital, get hurt or maimed for life because they were never socialized. A, that sounds like a terrible lawsuit for you. B, then you got to deal with those emotions and going through changing the life of a kid or somebody else because they weren't socialized. Doesn't mean they can't be protective inside their home and inside their fence, but kind of outside that, or at least with you, try and keep everybody else safe in the immediate area. Because accidents happen, gates are left open, people go where they're not supposed to. Minimize your risk as much as you can. So thanks again, guys. Hope that helps, and we'll see you next time.